It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
You know, as our listeners are no doubt aware, there was a tragic motor vehicle accident early Saturday morning, right around 4:30, in the town of Burns, in which 4 young people died. 2 16-year-old girls, a 14-year-old girl, and a 14-year-old boy, all from Dansville, and a fifth, a 16-year-old girl also from Dansville, suffered numerous, although non-life-threatening injuries. There were 5 people in the vehicle when it hit an embankment and then a tree head-on. You know, in large urban areas, tragedy happens all the time. There's New York and Boston, Washington, Baltimore, Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles. And I think after a while, people would have a tendency to get somewhat jaded. But we here are not jaded. And something like this hits hard, very hard. There is a theory called 6 degrees of separation. And the theory goes, if you contact everyone you know, by whatever means, including social media, and they contact everyone they know, and so on and so forth, within 6 steps, according to the theory, you can contact everyone on the planet. Now, this theory dates from the early 20th century. It was first put forth by a Hungarian author. And the theory has never been proved, and has never been disproved, because it's impossible. But indeed, if it is true, then we here in our listening area, the Canisteo Valley, Hornell, Dansville, Bath, Wellsville, it's 1 degree, possibly 2, maybe at the outside 2, and everyone knows everyone else. So something like this hits home. And then you do this little mind thing. You personalize it. And you say, let us say it was your child, your relative, or your friend. And then it really hurts. That's how close this hits. And I think everyone has a need to make life make sense. An event has to make sense. An event has to fit in somewhere. And that's how we are. That's how human beings are. Life has to make sense. Things have to fit. And then along comes something like this that makes no sense. It doesn't fit in anywhere. No matter how you turn this puzzle piece, it doesn't fit. So what do you do then? Well, in that case, the only thing you can do is draw on your faith. That's it. You can offer comfort when and where you can, and they will undoubtedly need a lot of comfort in the Dansville area and the Dansville High School. So you offer comfort when and where you can, you draw on your faith, you realize everyone is important, and each day is special. And as I said, because we are so close-knit here, it really hits home. So no, it's not going to make sense. You can try to figure it out, but it won't make sense. You just have to draw on your faith. Okay, I went on a little long. Well, it is Monday. It is unmistakably Monday, and it's the start of a work week. So the weekend is still way far away. So, okay, it's the start of a work week, and here we go. Let me see, what kind of a weekend? Well, we had the Gus Macker tournament. As you heard, Gus Macker for the 22nd year was a big success. There were more than 180 teams. It was 3-on-3 basketball. So we had more than 180. Man, right there, there's a lot of people. And then there were thousands of spectators. So once again, downtown was jammed with, all kinds of stuff going on. And I wasn't downtown yesterday at 4 o'clock, so I don't really know how it was in Hornell. I was in greater metropolitan Almond. But around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, man, the skies just opened up and boom. I mean, it poured. So I don't quite know how Macker wound up in Hornell, but, well, hey, one way or the other, it was a big success. There were a lot of people downtown. And they plan to do it again next year. So good luck, Dan Galadio, because he really works hard on that. And what else? Well, we had Smoke in the Valley in Canisteo, the first, possibly, probably, hopefully, of many. Because according to estimates, there were approximately 2,000 people at that event in Canisteo. So that, too, was a big success. So that was another event. And what else? Well, on a personal level, our grandson came over on Saturday, and he did a yeoman's job in knocking down a bunch of bamboo. I don't know how he did it. It took him about 3 hours, but he did a darn good job in getting down that bamboo. I think that, I don't know, would it be legal in Almond? A little napalm, I think, might work on bamboo. But I believe that Almond is zoned against napalm, so that's probably out of the question. So that was that. What else have we here? Well, we got another scam call. Now, this was on a Sunday afternoon, right? Sunday afternoon. Someone claiming to be from the Social Security Administration called, and my wife answered the phone, and said, unless you call this number, your Social Security benefits will be cut off. Really? Yeah, okay. So if you get a call from someone claiming to be from the Social Security Administration, just hang up and say, thank you very much, I'll see you later. So that's it. Why? I don't know why people do that. I have no idea why people do that, but they do. That's how they are. On the news, you heard, of course, it's been all over the news this morning, about that shooting at the Garlic Festival in Gilroy. And that's always a mess. I've been to 2 Garlic Festivals in Gilroy. And boy, you're talking like 100,000 people. This place is huge. It's huge. Gilroy is the garlic capital of the world. And Gilroy, when you're coming from the west and driving over the mountains hills, tall hills, in between the San Joaquin Valley and Gilroy, you could smell, I'm not making this up, you can smell Gilroy from 20 miles away. It smells like garlic, the heavy smell of garlic. And by the time you get there, you either hate garlic or you want something with garlic in it, okay? It's either one way or the other, but you could smell Gilroy from 20 miles away. Anyway, some idiot, or maybe possibly 2, they're not quite sure, 3 dead and 15 wounded, and there you go. People these nut jobs they come out of the woodwork. I don't know about that. So anyway, that was going on in Gilroy. Now, if you're looking for kind of this, have you ever gone shopping for something? You walk into a store, I'm going to buy an item. Well, let's say you're going to buy 2 items. And you walk into the store and you walk out with like 14 items. Okay, you had no idea. It wasn't on your list. You had no intention of doing this, but all of a sudden you walk out with all this stuff. Where did this come from? Well, this is from NBC News. A mom buys 1,500 pairs of shoes in a Payless that was going out of business. And she bought them for kids in need. How do you like that? Let me see here. Where do we start? Carrie Jernigan of Alma, Arkansas, took her daughter to a Payless going out of business sale to get her a new pair of shoes. So she ended up leaving with every pair of shoes in the store. 1,500 pairs of shoes. At the store, Jernigan's daughter, in the fourth grade, Harper, saw a pair that she wanted to buy for her friend, whose shoes she had noticed were too small. So this lady's 4th grade daughter wanted to buy shoes for her friend because her friend's shoes were too small. That's what her daughter noticed. And the daughter said, where is that? I know he likes Avengers, whatever Avengers shoes are. I have absolutely no idea. Apparently it's a brand name or something. I don't know. She said, I know he likes Avengers, so I saw some Avengers shoes and I said, hey, Mom, can we get these shoes for one of my friends? But the mother and daughter realized they didn't know the shoe size of Harper's friend. Hard to buy shoes if you don't know the size. So, her mother said, no, wait a minute, hold on. And her mother said, I looked at the clerk jokingly and just asked, just to be sure, how much for the rest of the shoes in here. I'm just joking. That's what her mother said. So because they didn't know this kid's shoe size, she said, why don't I just buy all the shoes in the store? Now, this is a going out of business sale, so it's going to be relatively cheap, but 1,500 pairs of shoes have got to cost $1 or $2. So her mother, as I said, jokingly said, maybe I'll buy all the shoes in the store. And then she said, I think I will. So the lady winds up buying 1,500 pairs of shoes in sizes ranging from infants to a men's 13. She's keeping them in her house for now as the community comes together to help her distribute the shoes. The good deed has snowballed beyond shoes. Now churches and local businesses are now planning a big back-to-school event to give away the shoes, along with free haircuts, eye exams, and other things children might need as they gear up for the new school year. And the lady said, in the grand scheme of things in this country, this is just a tiny blip. But if it continues to grow, and it makes you do one little thing for the student fixing to go back to school, then it matters to that one kid. So she bought shoes for all these kids. Holy mackerel. How much would 1,500, even at $10 a pair? 10 times 1,500, that's a lot of money. Okay, so she buys all these shoes. And let me see, we go from that to way at the other end of the spectrum here. Where was this? Florida woman. This is from Inside Edition. A Florida mother and son arrested on drug charges hours after winning the lottery. A Florida woman who had just won $20,000 on a scratch-off lottery ticket wound up getting arrested just hours later alongside her son on drug charges. According to the county sheriff in, what county was it? Volusia? Yeah, Volusia County. 59-year-old Migdalia Cruz and her son Luis Carrera, 39, had just returned from Orlando, where they claimed the prize on July 24th. It was $20,000 a scratch-off ticket. Wow. And they were at their Deltona home when the cops showed up with the search warrant. The son had been allegedly standing outside the house holding 3 bags, and the cops say those bags tested positive for fentanyl and heroin. Authorities say a search of the house turned up more drugs, including, hydromorphone, ecstasy, MDMA, more heroin, and miscellaneous drug paraphernalia. The mother was arrested and charged with selling heroin within 1,000 feet of a school, and she was released on $5,000 bail. Her son, meanwhile, was arrested and hit with several charges, including 2 counts of sale and delivery of heroin within 1,000 feet of a school. He's being held on $36,000 bail, which, if you think about that, let me see, they won $20,000 on a scratch-off. Bail is a total of $41,000. Nope, can't quite make bail. So that's in Florida. If you're going to do anything as a family, a mother and son arrested on drug charges, there you go. That's a nice bonding agent, I guess. And let me see, we have another one. Oh, another one from Florida. That's right. This is from Newsweek. Florida man on horseback arrested after burglarizing home. And a Florida man was arrested this week on burglary charges after he rode a horse to break into a house in Newport Richey. Security footage captured Lonnie Maddox, 52 years old, nicknamed the Rooster, walking around outside the victim's property on Thursday morning. That was last Thursday, according to Pasco County Sheriff's Office. Maddox was accompanied by a brown horse by the name of Angel. And as Angel wandered away, Maddox can be seen opening the property's screened porch before then attempting to unlock the front door. And then he decided to enter through a back window after he couldn't unlock the front door. So he enters through a back window. After Maddox broke the back window, causing roughly $100 in damages, the owner of the house noticed the commotion on the security cameras and called authorities to report the incident. Who takes a getaway horse to a robbery? The homeowner told the Times. Maddox approached the cops when they arrived to ask if they had seen his horse. He continued to express concern over the horse's whereabouts while being questioned by authorities. Deputies say, "The horse is, quote, mine. I've been trying to get to it," Maddox told the cops, according to Fox News. The cops later found the horse roughly 2 miles away from the house and returned it to its owner, and it's unclear whether Maddox stole the horse or had obtained permission to ride it. And during the questioning, Maddox initially claimed that he was on the property because his horse had run loose and broken through a fence. But when deputies informed him that they had the security footage, he changed his story and told the cops that he had broken into the house because he was thinking about renting it and wanted to see the inside. Wow. So the homeowner says, I said, "What were you doing in my house?" And the guy said, "My horse broke into your house, mister, and I had to get in there and get her." So he said, "Okay, so she broke into the gate and then the porch and then the house? Horses normally don't break into houses." Anyway, so this guy's in jail on numerous charges, and there you go. And there's a mugshot of him on the front. He looks, wow. He looks like maybe a horse could possibly be his best friend. I'm not sure about that. Oh, insurance. I should say insurance. You're very important. Everybody needs insurance. I need insurance. You need insurance. Homeowners, renters, landlords. You need life insurance. You need auto insurance. You need all kinds of insurance. Well, what about the Ryan Agencies? 3 locations, Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They are your local independent insurance agency. Save smart on your insurance with the Ryan Agencies. And why an independent agent like the Ryan Agencies? Well, they do the insurance shopping for you. It's like having your own personal insurance shopper. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They're insurance experts. They have a great website called, oddly enough, RyanAgency.com. And you can find out a whole bunch more by accessing that website for the Ryan Agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
News from Major League Baseball, and the New York Mets made a surprising move on Sunday. Instead of being a seller, as most expected, the Mets, who are 11.5 games out in the NL East and 6 out in the NL wildcard race, were buyers. They acquired Toronto Blue Jays all-star pitcher Marcus Stroman in exchange for 2 pitching prospects. On the field, the Yankees beat the Red Sox 9-6. New York avoids being swept in the 4-game series with a win. Boston is 1 game out of the final wildcard spot in the American League. Cubs over the Brewers 11-4. Milwaukee drops a game back of Chicago for first in the NL Central with that loss, and the Cubs move back into a tie for the division lead with St. Louis as the Cardinals fell to the Astros 6-2. Twins top the White Sox 11-1. Minnesota's lead on Cleveland atop the AL Central's back up to 2 games, with the Indians falling to the Royals 9-6. Nationals over the Dodgers 11-4. Washington's tied with Chicago and St. Louis for the final wildcard spot in the National League. A's walk off with a 6-5 win over the Rangers. Oakland remains a half game up on Tampa Bay for the final wildcard spot in the American League. Rays beat the Blue Jays 10-9.
From the Fox Business Network, trade negotiations with China resume this week. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer are to arrive in Shanghai on Tuesday to meet with China's top negotiator. Apple's new phones to hit the market next year could all support faster 5G technology. Mac Rumors says 3 new phones are expected next year, and analysts believe Apple will allow the phones to support faster 5G networks to compete with Android models. More than 10,000 cryptocurrency holders have received tax warning letters from the IRS. The Wall Street Journal says cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase turned over the information on holders' accounts last year. Cryptocurrency trades could be subject to a variety of taxes. The Dow was up 51 on Friday. NASDAQ added 91, S&P up 17. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section and after Dad's back injury. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Trouble with opioids can start at home with unused medicines such as pills, patches, and syrups. You can remove the risk and protect your family. Find out how at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads and Hornell, drive away in a new Nissan Murano lease for only $299 a month. A new 2019 all-wheel drive Nissan Murano S model with a 3.5 V6 engine, 18-inch alloys, forward collision warning, lease with no money down for $299 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
Okie doke. Here's a question. Have you ever asked yourself this? Do bugs feel pain? I'm just asking, do bugs feel pain? Well, study reveals insects actually battle chronic pain after suffering injury. Who knew? This is Sydney in Australia, where they do some pretty strange research, I must say. Few people would hesitate to grab a newspaper and smash an annoying fly that's been buzzing around the kitchen for hours. But if you've ever wondered whether bugs feel pain when you attempt to kill them, a new study is the first to prove that not only do insects feel an injury, but they suffer from chronic pain after recovering from one. Okay. Researchers from the University of Sydney in Australia say the discovery builds on prior research from 2003 that found insects experience a sensation related to pain. Okay, let me see here. People don't really think of insects as feeling any kind of pain, said the study's co-author Greg Neely. He is an associate professor at the university. In a statement, he said this. But it's already been shown that a lot of different invertebrate animals that they can sense and avoid dangerous stimuli that we perceive as painful. In non-humans, we call this sense nociception. Yikes, nociception. The sense that detects potentially harmful stimuli like heat, cold, or physical injury. But for simplicity, we can refer to what insects experience as pain. So we knew that insects could sense pain, he continued, but what we didn't know is that an injury could lead to long-lasting hypersensitivity to normally non-painful stimuli in a similar way to human patients' experiences. For the study, the authors damaged one leg on fruit flies. Now imagine doing that. For the study, the authors damaged one leg on fruit flies and then allowed them to fully heal. They found that even after the fruit flies recovered, their uninjured leg grew more sensitive, a reaction likened to chronic pain in humans. So this guy says after the animal is hurt once, it's a fly. It's a fruit fly. After the animal is hurt once badly, they are hypersensitive and try to protect themselves for the rest of their lives. And he says that's kind of cool and intuitive. Yeah, it's also just a little weird. Anyway, wow, this is pretty interesting stuff. Let me see. Neely and his team then determined exactly how the insects experience such a response. The fly is receiving painful messages from its body that then go through sensory neurons to the ventral nerve cord, and that's the fly's version of our spinal cord. In this nerve cord are inhibitory neurons that act like a gate to allow or block pain perception based on the context. Anyway, so they're doing, I don't, it's, why would they deliberately hurt a fruit fly? I mean, why not to kill the thing? Why just hurt it? Anyway, so they were pulling the wings off flies or something. It's all very strange. Many years ago, Kevin Dorn, in the early 90s, I don't remember if it was on an interview or he said off the air, but he said, mark my words, someday there will be a group advocating for equal rights for insects. And you had to know Kevin Dorn, because you never really knew, did he really mean it, or was he kidding around? Equal rights for insects, this is the first step. I believe that Kevin Dorn was decades ahead of his time, because this might be the opening shot in protecting and passing special laws for insects. I don't know. We will see. Okay, that's it for today, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.